any example where you witnessed Jwala's behavior towards Komal and Hanuman and Mala?
I guess there's two situations that stick in my mind. One of them, I don't know if Mala was present at that one, but I guess one of the first meetings we had together, where we met in the coffee shop, Mala, I can't remember if you were there or not, but there was a pretty big discussion and Jwala was quite upset and she left the meeting. And so I did go in afterwards and contact her and, just had a chat to her about how she was. And then also at one of the last
So
events.
what happened at the meeting that she stormed out like that?
I'm trying to remember. I can't actually remember what the issue was. I can only remember, because it's quite a long time ago, I can only remember that there was a bit of an argument that happened. I mean, if anyone else can remember what the actual issue was, this is when we were in Newtown. We went for tea after lunch. So sorry, I can't actually remember the issue, but I know that it got very heated. Jwala left, and then I kind of rang her and kind of caught up with her afterwards. And then the same, it did happen once at one of the events in Sydney, which I think was last year. And I think with that, it was I'm trying to think, sorry. There was a disagreement about something that happened on the stand. And Jwala got upset and kind of left the stand. So then, so kind of, yeah, so then I went and just kind of made sure she was okay and helped her to calm down. Yeah.
But we don't have clarity about what was the problem. Like, what did she get heated about? What was she so upset about? What exactly happened there?
I think there was a disagreement between herself and Hanuman or Kamal, but to be honest, I can't actually remember what the actual thing was that she was not what she was upset about, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So if anyone can remember what it actually was that she was upset about.
I'm actually a bit surprised that how little that Simran able to remember all the events. And let me start from the top. Okay, so from the very beginning, Jola starting with like a practitioner volunteer in the stand. And I didn't really paying attention because sometimes I just saw her appear in the group photo of the events. And only when I start paying attention, it's probably around 2014. Because when there was a time when Shima Shiji came visit, or 2013 or 2014, and because there was, I think, the 2014, there was a time me and Hanuman starting to organizing lots of events from our end without really having, have to trouble Shima Shiji, and we sort of independently handle a lot of things, and we was actually under a lot of pressure. And what happened was, most of the time, Juala, she will come up with the attitude saying, "Oh, it's so simple, it's easy. No one turned up in the cosmic tribe, just ring them up." And she can say anything so easily, as if like, she can do it that like that. And she also sort of having this attitude, "Oh, why you not sharing the information?" She want to be like feel like she wants to be part of the group. But the thing is, if she is not involved in back then the very first batch, even the before that the batch that Mara joining, we already have the pre-fit training that we have some group, we have some information teaching from Shima Shiji. I don't think they are able to share, and that's why start getting my attention. Like um, she feel everything so simple and easy and can be done like really doesn't have to do anything and keep it down. And it frustrated me because back then me and Hanuba are really working very hard. We had lots of stress, and we have to a lot of behind work. And for someone to say something like that, I feel like it's really not fair. But that's fine, because we have different poses and they have different way of looking things. So it's not really bothered me. But when it start to getting involved more with join the the fit training, it's something like I really getting my attention in a way, because I was like, wow, like how what she can really bring on the table. And um I think the major event that we have, the very first one, have the very big confrontation, is the one we just come back from the first fit retreat. And back then, I think back then, Mala we have a fit gathering. And I think Mala didn't join us then because I think she had something with Mahima at that time. There's an incident, so she didn't really join the thing. And we have back then was Nikki. Nikki, she back then was wanted to join the fit, but she didn't make it for the retreat. But she's still catching up with us to see how everything goes for the retreat. And after she left, we sort of catching up to talk about what we can do, run for events for Sydney, for Australia. We were talking and talking, and then um, was suddenly, I think we'll say something maybe she doesn't agree or she doesn't like, and straight away, suddenly like she changed her, like she started getting very upset, and she got like a out of control, and she was like non-stop talking when she's getting, on the day on the call, if she able to speak to Shima Shiji like that. So what does everyone think that in the other fit meeting, what it can be if she's able to talk to Shima Shiji like that in the call? So in that one, I was really because she at that on the day her attitude, her vibration is so high, and she look at the cynic group. It's like we are like a lot of negative energy, and we are just so low, and she just can't stand it. That's how the impression she gave me. And then after that, I think we have a, I think with Simran, she has a chat. I think was she created the chat group, sort of trying to sort out, what's happening. That's just a sort of like try to clarify, like try to ease off what's been happening, like why she turned her just walk away in the meeting. And then we just try to express our opinion. And back then, I think me and Hanua come up with a very long list of all the pointers that what she's been doing in the past before joining the the retreat the retreat, including her behavior in the stand as a what's it called, as the practitioner volunteer, because in the stand she could wear all black, appear on the stand, and then talking to just like just not appropriate. And I'm trying to find out the the writing, see if I couldn't find it now, but hopefully I'm able to find, because it has very detailed description of um, the observation me and Hanuma we have since we getting know Juala. Back then was Jabin. And then when she saw that write up the writing, and she suddenly she posted, I think everyone, if you everyone remember, she posted in the feed chat screaming saying she's got attack or something, like she's acting like a victim, she's been attacked or something, and she's like really screaming for help in the feed call, feed group. I don't know if everyone still remember. So literally, I don't know what happened. Like me and Hanuma, we didn't really do anything. We just stating what she has been doing, and we just state the fact. And apparently, she can't take it, and she take it as an attack. And then that's why after that, I think we have a call with Shima Shiji. It's by the end of 2015. And I remember very clearly back then, it's me, Simran, Juala Hanuman. We joined the call, we have some exercise. I think that's the time when Shima introduced us, if when someone acting small, be the bigger one. That's what sort of is being introduced around that time, if I recall correctly. So that's the first time. So since then, now, oh, okay. So really, since that time, I was literally shutting down. Whenever there's Joala's appearance, I will literally, I feel like I can't do it. Like it's like an energy block. It just, I don't know what to say, but it's just a feeling that I can't really say anything that to confront her. It just energetically, whenever she in a call meeting, if she says something, I will just stay quiet. It's since then it's really big. Um, there was a very big, what's it called? Big, you can say big event, not event. What's it called? Big. For me, I feel like it's a trauma for me. It took me quite a while to getting out of it. So, and after that, we have embraced life. We have because at that time, 2014 is me and Hanuman was the major force to organize all the events. And because 2015 we got fits, we got Sydney fits. So my feeling is we should really engage all the fit in Sydney to run the events together. So I invite, you know, Cinderella. Oh, I think back then it's not really mature because 2014 we run a lot of big events as discussed. We mentioned in the call earlier, MBS, and we spend like 15 grand out of pocket and really can't afford it. So 2015, me and Hanuman start with running some small events. And we started with, at the beginning, we're looking for maybe some local practitioners. We engaged, the first one was in Central Coast, and I invite some local practitioners because it's easier for them to access. And then we started to run a couple of times, like, oh, we think that's a good platform because they run city to city around Sydney area. And Hanuman, when we really think there's a potential, we can engage in the different local community, and we can sort of, we have people join the Awakening Transformation workshop. We can have practitioners, and they can also join the local event because there's no promoting local business. And then I remember very clearly, there's one time, because we have different practitioners and or facilitators, and I was before design the spreadsheet, I was into this consideration that whoever is engaging the client will put the initial, because that's for the convenience of following up, and if anything happens, at least we know who is looking after the client and the participant, because in the busy stand we can be very busy, and sometimes we can talk to 30, 40 people, and we even forget, we even can't remember who we spoke to. So I sort of put the, I have, during events, I always have a spreadsheet to enter the basic details, and all this has been considered, what field to put in, the postcode, everything, just for the convenience of database maintenance. And then because there's incidents where it's supposed to be, maybe Mala can remember, because there was some gap, no one filling in. It was actually done by Mala, but then Jola put her initial. And I think there was, I can't remember who bring to my awareness, to my attention. I said, oh, I think maybe should be Mala, or someone tell me. Or maybe if someone can recall that part, because the part I can't, the details. But I do clearly remember Jola put her initial where the work is done by Mala. And that's why in our catch-up meeting, we sort of raising we're just asking, so, oh, we just noticed someone put Mala, the initial should be Mala's initial, but Mala, she did the sharing and talk to client, but end up like someone else initial. And then Jola start she knows it's her, but we didn't point out who, but she start talking like very loud and start to saying something, oh, we work as a team, we work together, we don't need to really, that is the way she talk. She talk like in the total different world. And we are so this and that, but I really to get to her attention that what she's doing, and she start really, she can't take it, and she start to say, oh, because that's when then Hanuman really fire up. And that's why Jola take it as, because Hanuman, when he speaks something like he's really offending for defending cosmic fusion, because we think it's not allowed to happen like this. And that's when Jola, she's talking really, really loud. And the way she talks is pretty much, I think everyone witnessed the way how she talks. And she would say, oh, this group energy, she start always talking like that, this group. She always look highly on herself, and she always look at the group as, I don't know, like very low vibration or very dense or whatever. Just the way, her attitude. So after I think that when we have a sort of in that sort of confrontation, and then I think she said, oh, I'm going to speak to Shimashiji. And I believe she wrote an email to Shimashiji, and I believe she was told to be the bigger one, when someone acting small and be the bigger one. So I think she sort of thinks she's the bigger one. And then I think she tried to talk as if like she is in a very high vibration and she is a loving, considerate person. But when there's anything happens, we can see how her different face. And I think in earlier, Simran really did pointing out, I don't know if Simran, you really don't remember, or how can you cannot remember such big events happen in Sydney? You can't recall anything. We have a few times when we organizing like a festival of dreams. The last one, like it's such a big, how to say this, when we it happens after the 2016 retreat when we were introduced Paktipa. But back then there's no write-up really been approved by Srima Shiji. And back then we always having silent immersion and silent transmission. I think back then we has the silent. I think we are in the transaction period from moving from silent transmission to silent transmission to Paktipa. So when during our preparation for the Festival of Dreams, we have sort of different opinion about what's the topic, the theme for the stand we should run. And I think because back then I was having my high blood pressure problem, and I was sort of waiting for operation. And I remember back then Shima Shiji was saying, for the end of the year, Simran and Joanna should take the lead to organize the event. And I think because based on that, they sort of trying to take the lead in the way they express their opinion. But for now, I feel like they very insist to have party path. I think it's coming out of goodwill, but there's no write-up, there's nothing, and it hasn't been approved. And therefore, we have sort of this like a different opinion about the topic. So me and Hanuman, we think it's okay. We can understand. We can explain to people how we how it happens in the stand. Now we have this party, but we have this party pie happening in the stand. How well we can explain orally, but in the write-up officially, we don't feel confident yet because there's no really approved write-up because we're all struggling the write-up, or even if we don't have the party pie in the first place, how would be the rest would be happening. So there was the different from me and Hanuman, and sort of at the time we have very different. Simran and Jola, they really insist to have party path, and even they back then they have a local event. Simran and Joala really, they already print out the flyer and they offer Paktipa. Hanuman, can you remember what does it call? It's print out in one of the local community before anything being improved. It's already something like a Paktipa healing or Paktipa, what was it? And also they come out with
transmission.
Oh, Paktipa translation. And while I was shocking to look as well, it even can be created and then Paktipa transmission.
Komal, sorry to interrupt you here. Simran, can I have you on this one? That Komal, the point that she has just brought it out. Did this happen? Can you give me your version of it?
Jayashree, sorry, Ryan. So I think this is referring to just a leaflet that Jola and I we just made to give to people that were coming to the meetup, and it was just the silent immersion, Bhakti Path, which we thought that we could just give together. This was after the retreat that we went to. And so it was just a leaflet saying, just had the Bhakti Pav on it and a leaflet to give to people that were coming to meet up. So for us to offer transmission together.
Right, but had it been by Srimashri ji?
Okay.
Yes.
It may say something, Niranjana. What I recall is different story. The flyers, it's a magazine advertisement from Embrace Life. Hanuman, he is a witness. He can tell you, he can even find out the actual advertising. It's been mentioned something. They both saying they are the what's it called? They are the Hanuman. Maybe you can find it. I think you have that. You should be able to find it. It's been mentioned in the because in Embrace Life they try to have a local exposure and they're inviting to have a local practitioner advertising section.
It was northern. It's a northern magazine, the Northern Beaches magazine. There was an advertisement. There is a workshop that goes on, and there was a big promotion happening where there was a if you would like to advertise as we were going in for the Northern Beaches Embrace Life. And so I think I can't remember the
Hanuman should be able to find it
or the magazine.
Yeah, you should be able to find it. And
are you able to hear me?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I would just like to go back to Simran. Simran, was this article put in a magazine? And whose approval was taken? Was Srimashri's approval even taken to put it in a magazine, an article in a magazine?
No, it's a advertising. It's not. It's not an article. It's just a. Because it's a like a local practitioner, we can advertise ourselves. It's fine. It's just like the content is questionable because I think they are the counselor. What's it called? They are the.
So Jason, I'm not gonna add. So that's a profile that's been put in the website as well in Embrace Life as well as in thing. So I think what Kamal was saying is that so we will have a description of the workshop or what's happening. Let's say maybe back then I think it is the thymus activation. So as a profile of Jwala and Simran, they had their you call it profession. So one is so we're doing thymus activation, which is all the description, and then the profile, which is also like counseling and whatever. So in each case, so not really having to say just a practitioner of quantum vortex scalar wave, for example. I think that's what Kumar has meaning to say, right?
There's a few things, Hanuman. You need to state one event after event. They design their own flyer, and then I think design the flyer is not the problem, but the thing is the content she's using this platform when we run by Cosmic Fusion. She still put themselves as the what's it called, counseling. They're the psychology counselor.
Art therapy, counselor and art therapy.
Counselor, and they even put Akashic record healing. They even put that, like, change the name Akashic record neutralization to Akashic record healing. And I was actually shocking to see they actually print a menu in the Festival of Dreams, the flyer, all the healing menu they display on the table. and still
So
put.
so
It's
before
not.
before 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 you continue, Kamal, just tell them why you're upset of why all the menus been shared. So
Say it again.
it's like, so can you like express why you're shocked to see all the menus been put in
Yeah,
one.
because it's only been discussed. We are still in this discussion and never been approved by Shima Shiji yet. Yet it's already, because for me and Hamdan Run, we run so many events. We never ever do that because we know people can just steal it like that. We don't give away our menu like that. We have some practitioner in Sydney. They come for practitioner workshop, took my practitioner notes and put everything in the website. And after somehow I bump into it, and I think someone sent her an email saying there's a copyright this, and she took off the quantum vortex of the post, but the content is still pretty much there. And I don't know, maybe Hanuman can still Google it, maybe it's still there. And
I'll get
okay,
it.
I think back to the main point. Okay, the main point is that's still part of the disagreement, because me and Hanuman, we think, if we represent cosmic fusion, we shouldn't put our personal professional as part of it, because for me and Hanuman, we print out flyer, that's correct, but we only mention cosmic fusion and like as a practitioner, and we know what's the boundary. We never across the boundary. We all the write up been approved. We, like similar to like a meetup write up, and we know what we can put give it out, and we because we cannot really give every single for Shima Shiji approval, because we something we can able, because we run a lot of events, and that's why there's the trust that Shima Shiji give to us, that because we never cross the boundary. And then because of this time round with the Festival of Dream, Jola and Simran, they sort of taking the lead for organizing the event, and I believe they feel they have this right to make decision. And that's what's coming up, because me and Hanuma, we also produce our own flyer, and like it's like like a contact, and then because we've been using a lot, we need to join lots of local community. They need to have your contact, your bio in the it's 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 no we all based on we don't mention anything else, but they was use this platform just to mention the profession. I was Shimashichi actually mentioned that in the last retreat. I was mentioned to Shimashichi, I don't feel it's right to do that, but Shimashichi said we cannot do anything about it. If the practitioner they want to mention that, what can we do? So that's leading to the event. That's different. You should remember, because you are the one making this big mess in the stand, because we all setting up with the Paktipa, all been setting up, and we have the Shima Shiji's photo on the wall, and then we as a Paktipa we're sitting just like you imagine there is a square, and there's a one side, two side has a wall, and the short wall they will put Shima Shiji's photo, and as a Paktipa we just sitting opposite the end sitting at the end, and in the middle we have all the participants, they're sitting there, and then they just to experience inside the temple. And then somehow in the middle of the, because at the beginning the arrangement is like having the people participant, they sitting facing outside, like facing, so people walking, they will see, oh, someone sitting there feel like meditation, and that's the setup. But then someone was complaining, say, oh, too bright. So too bright, the solution is the solution is to move the adjust the light. I think Hanuman was trying to adjust light or something, but then Simran saying, "Oh, let's change the direction, the seat." I think she and Juala, maybe Hanuman can recall. I remember like I told Simran don't change, and Simran pretty insists to change the direction. And after that, when we sit back to the Bhaktipada temple, I feel very very heavy. I feel very heavy, and I told Hanuman something happening, because we've been running a lot of events, and if something not going right, we sort of we're really paying attention. And then I think Hanuman quickly messaging Shima Shiji, and Shima Shiji is saying that's because we don't work as a team. And because after even before we received the message, I asked everyone coming inside the stand. We do Bhakti Pop together. But Jola, she didn't join. She refused. She said, "Oh, I can't remember what was her excuse, but she didn't join when we all sitting inside doing Bhakti Pop because like just try to it's sort of it's just uh this what's the
The
first
energy. Sorry, Kamal, you wanted to negate the energy. It was very heavy that day. I remember.
yes, that's my first response. That's my sort of automatic. My first response is everyone come and sit and Bhakti Pop. We see if we can shift the energy, something like that. So she refused, and then I think after Hanuman received Shima Shiji's feedback because uh, it's not working as a team, and Hanuman trying to show Juala, and then Juala was very upset, and I think there it has some confrontation. I think I wasn't there when that happening because when I maybe went to the toilet or something. When I come back, uh, or or I'm in a sad temple. I can't remember. I think Hanuman trying to read out the message to everyone, and apparently Joala she wasn't very happy about it, and she sort of because in the stand she can't really talk too loud. I think she sort of walk away, and the incident was
Okay,
happened like
Shisham,
that. And
and can I just cut in this? I just have to say that it must not be the most appropriate time to express Shrima Sriji's message, but I guess I could say it is maybe the wrong timing on this part. So I'll take that responsible. That's fine. But my thing is that how am I going to express Shrima Sriji unless show it to the message so that I was very upfront and straightforward. So the best way I could, and I think it just exploded from there. So I let you continue, Kamal.
I think because of there are a few confrontation from the previous several meeting experience both Joel and Hanuman had. And I don't know what's the feeling she had, but this is a different topic. So the main thing is, uh, if
JC
anything,
on the line. Can I also add in previous last the year before that we had another incident where Joala was inside the silent transmission. Uh, yeah, silent transmission. And so I had an incident where my acquaintance, a psychic acquaintance, was trying to sabotage us, and this is why I was very protective in a way that if though I feel that there's something that's happening, I must voice it out. So at this time, when I felt that there was something needed to be said, and so that's why I expressed it out straight away, right there and then in front of everybody, and tried to show the message in front of Simran and Mala and Jwala, and because Kamal is in having a bhaktiva in the temple, yeah, it kind of like exploded from there. So so that's just the backtrack of it. Why?
yeah, yes, yes, that's one of the event happening in 2015 Festival of Dreams event. 2014, let me see, 14 or is it the first year or the second? I think should be the 2015.
Yeah,
And
but she.
and and I think she talking inside the temple, which we should keep silent. And she tried to do, what did she? I think she's trying to do something, being stopped by me because I told her off. We're not supposed to talk inside the temple. If you want to say something, talk outside. And it's just yeah, this is all the incidents that I recall with Joala. But of course I can say a lot more. I don't know if I talk too much, but that's basically anything that she's been pointing out. Of course she won't be happy. And as again, the attitude, the way her response is clearly displayed in front of everyone, that's how she defends herself, like non-stop talking, and then talking as if she's such a high vibration and we just a piece of, and like a, I don't know, dance. She's been called, oh, you this group. She's like, and she doesn't feel like she fit this group when she confronting something like this. She always feel like, you know, like maybe we're low vibration, or I don't know. She's a very high vibrational being,